This is probably 10 times more offensive than anything they could have done. They spit in your face. They mock you behind the scenes. They talk in private about how they know you're mad and they refuse to apologize. And then they say, I know, let's shove disabled military veterans in their faces as if that will absolve them of their responsibilities. This is the most offensive way, in my opinion, to respond to the backlash.
What's going on, everyone? Sauce Queen here. Today we're reacting to another little Bud Light update, but it's kind of some of the commentary that's been surrounding this issue. As you all know, that it seems like Bud Light wants to release a camo version of their cans, as they're doing it for, I guess they're preparing for Veterans Day. Anheuser-Busch will launch camouflage and motorcycle themed beer and and redesigned for Bud Light and Budweiser as a multinational conglomerate reels from its recent partnership with self-identified transgender social media influencer Dylan Mulvaney, right? One unnamed executive from the company informed the New York Post on Tuesday that the firm will produce a camouflage Bud Light can as part of an initiative that offers educational scholarships to families of fallen American service members and first responders. It's an aluminum bottle, the source told the outlet. I believe it's only package that it will be transitioning. It will be the only package that will be transitioning. They're trying to be funny here. But I am 100% certain of that. Okay, and then obviously they show Budweiser. Bud Light garnered backlash last month when executives sent Mulvaney, a man who claims to be a woman, and documented his proposed gender transition online, a custom beer can. And we already know this story, right? So their sales has been falling periodically, and there's some articles out there that said the support is waning, and I don't believe that's true, right? It's like, hey, you lost 25. Let's say you had 100 bottles, and I stole this from Tim Cass, so I'm being honest. You have 100 bottles of, but let's say they sold 100 Bud Light. They lost 25% of sales. They only have 75 sales. Then they only lost 5% sales from the 70%. So now they're down to 70% sales, the bottles a year, right? And it keeps going down. But on the outside looking in, they lost 25%. Now they only lost 5%. And they say, oh, support is waning. But you used to sell 100 bottles. Now you're only selling 70. Like you lost the market share. All right, and I think this is how they're going to come about and play this thing. But it's all a little game of a corporate activism. This is what it seems like to me, right? And I've been had this feeling ever since ESG and all this initiative started coming. I think I've been thinking for a long time that corporate America, at least the big multinational companies, they're playing a different game now. They're not playing the game of, hey, let's be profitable. Let's make as much money as we can to sustain our business and to sustain our employees. No. Now it seems like, hey, no, we're trying to push an agenda. Dun, dun, dun. Like, that's what it seems like to me. It seems like an evildoer trying to manipulate the populace into a certain path, right? And here's some of the Tim Cass commentary. I really like the lady that was really speaking about this issue, and I think she hit the nail on the head of why we keep running into this issue. Let's take a look.
Gotta be honest, I think saying they're wrong still would not undo the damage. I think a lot of dudes are just going to see this as a gay brand from now on. It's going to gross them out for that reason. They're not going to want to be seen as gay, or they're not going to want to support it, and so they're not going to buy the beer. That's it. If they came out and were like, hey, Sawi was an accident, like our wonderful elected leaders do and the people at the FBI, it still wouldn't do anything for them.
I think these woke marketing executives, though, their brains are so infested, like they have drunk the Kool-Aid on all of these social issues, that I also think that they also don't even actually want to make money for their companies, right? That's not like in their DNA, right? Doing that is another cardinal sin that you can't engage with. And so I think these people have always used these platforms to push social agendas. So they're not going to apologize because they're like, no, we're using this venue, this avenue for the explicit purpose that we were hired for. And I'm sure they have DEI beyond belief in terms of their hiring processes. So you're self-selecting for these loons.
Bars. Yeah. If you go by these DEI initiatives, all this stuff that big corporations are known to do, right? Hire people, race-based quotas. Like you're self-selecting for. It's like the woke selection, right? It's like an actual selection except the woke edition, right? You keep doing these hiring practices to appeal to ESG and all these people that care about race-based quotas. Oh, how many people, how much representation you have in your corporate America, instead of worrying about the abilities of their employees. And then you wonder why a lot of these, like Hollywood, and you wonder why these people They don't seem to have a creative bone in their body. All they can do is bastardize already established brands and products, because there's no innovation anymore. Especially with like, because you're not hiring people based on merit. You're hiring on, hey, can they maintain what we have going on now? And do they look a certain way? That's it. Diversity, physical diversity. That's all y'all care about. Y'all care about the color of their skin, not the content of their character, not the abilities they have, not the knowledge they have. No, y'all put more weight on their race. And to me, that's racist, right? Affirmative action is a racist policy. Y'all can debate that in the comment section. I stand on that. So I digress. But remember, I kept mentioning how, I think other people mention it as well, is how now the senators contend that Bush, sorry, I can't get confused with this word. Don't mind me. Was marketing to minors with Dylan Mulvaney push, right? And we talked about this, like TikTok, Instagram. I'm just gonna go by the demographics. We already know like where it is. So Cruz and Blackburn reference market research data that Instagram is an ideal platform for companies seeking to reach users that are between the age of 16 and 24 years old. Which is true, because I use Instagram still, right? While the majority of account owners on TikTok are between 13 to 24 years old. And remember, I was saying that most of his followers, he has 10 million followers, I believe, on TikTok. And a lot of them are minors. So I was like, hey, and here's the interesting point that the article made. And the lawmakers compared Bud Light, Dylan Mulvaney's partnership, to the same use as illegal marketing campaigns for cigarette manufacturers, right? I remember when I was young, they had that, you know, that little candy stick that looked like a cigarette. I used to pretend I was smoking. The law had a problem with that. Youth flavored advertising tools such as Joe Camel or Camel, I don't know if I'm saying this right. Let me get to see. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but in an attempt to develop early brand loyalty with children. And I think this is all the source of all this woke stuff. Is exactly what a lot of socialists says. He who controls the children controls the future. And this is what they want. They want our future to be trans, gay, feminist, right? And there's a reason, like, you can't deny social contagion. You can't deny that concept, because LGBTQ, right, transgenderism, it was a very like rare phenomenon. With Gen Z, they identify, like 20% of Gen Z identify as gay, which is way more than what millennials identify, and millennials identify way more with LGBT than Gen X, than baby boomers. If you look in reverse, the trend, you can see a trend coming. And also, a lot of this stuff is regional. More liberal places tend to have more LGBTQ people. I'm not, look, if people make that decision that they want to be LGBTQ or they were born this way, fine, have at it. But the rate which kids come, like, because at the end of the day, I think we're sexualizing kids too early nowadays. And I think it seems to be normalized in our culture. Like a lot of stuff, I noticed this. I forgot what the show was called. Euphoria, I believe. I remember catching my teenage cousin watching this stuff. And I was like, yo, this stuff is too raunchy for you to be watching. You're only 16. This stuff is for adults. They market shows like this to teenagers, to kids, essentially. People under 18. Over sexualized, like nothing like the shows are no longer like mentally stimulating anymore. It's just all about sex. Over, like, it's almost like fast food for the mind. No story, nothing really good about the story. It's just, let's just bombard them with a bunch of stimulus. And that's what a lot of these shows become. I can't even watch TV anymore because I think it's just so oversaturated with this stuff. But hey, I don't know. This is what I think. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Do you think this camo campaign is gonna save Bud Light sales? I don't think so. I think people are just done. Like, I think this is dead at this point, right? And I think everyone's just focused on other things that's been going on in the world. But hey, I digress. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I really do appreciate you guys for watching to the end of the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. If you're already subscribed, please hit the notification bell on the video so you get notified every time I do a video. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.